Welcome back everyone, my name is Antas Gaming and for this video we are going to continue our little series of all weapons and their best weapon pairings for open world PvP. In our last video we covered the hatchet, so for this video we are going to go over the rapier. So without further ado, enjoy the video. The rapier was probably the most popular weapon in both the closed beta and in the open beta. This comes to no surprise since it has everything you look for in a weapon. It contains extreme amounts of mobility, loads of damage over time active spells and low cooldowns on its abilities. This makes the rapier the best suited for players who want to enter a fight, kill off an opponent quickly and get out. Furthermore, the rapier excels at single target PvP combat, but this does not mean it's a slouch when in group fights or in 1vx scenarios. So here is what I believe to be the best PvP build currently for the rapier in open world PvP. The three main abilities you will be taking are Riposte, Evade and Flash. Now these three abilities combined give you plenty of outplay potential. It also gives you multiple options of how you want to approach a team fight. Riposte puts you in a defense position for 1 second, and if you are struck during that period of time, you will counter their attacks, stunning them for roughly 1.5 seconds. Then we have Evade. This has to be one of the best abilities in the game when it's maxed out. When you activate this ability, you perform a small sidestep in the direction of your choosing, making you invulnerable as well in that time frame. This ability has a short cooldown, but when you max out its passives, you can shorten this cooldown by 30% by every successful light attack versus your opponent. Then lastly you have Flash, your high mobility ability. This is just the perfect ability to get into a fight, chase down low health targets or even get out of a sticky situation. Now when it comes down to pairing the rapier with other weapons, there are only 3 viable options in my opinion. This doesn't mean that there aren't more weapons which you could pair with it, but the top 3 best open world PvP pairings have to be: number 1, the Ice Gauntlet. The Ice Gauntlet pairs really well together with the rapier because they both scale of intelligence. The Ice Gauntlet is a great pairing because it offers insane amounts of crowd control. Also it has good zoning potential, you can kite your enemies around your ice storm, and if you manage to hit them with an ice shower, you can harass your opponents and switch off to your rapier and do the finishing blows to them and slay your opponent. If you want to know more about this specific build, I actually made a video about this build a couple of days ago. I'll link it in the cards and I'll link it in the description below if you want to go check that out. Next, for number 2, we have the Fire Staff. The Fire Staff is another one of those intelligence weapons which pairs really amazingly with the rapier. Together these two weapons offer great mobility, since they both have a gap closer or a get to safety ability. So typically with this build, you want to chip your opponent's health bar with the Fire Staff, before closing the gap with your mobility abilities, switching into your rapier and then finishing them off in style. Then for the third and final weapon pairing is none other than the bow together with the rapier. Now since the bow and the rapier's primary stat or attribute is dexterity, for this build you want to fully spec into dexterity. Not like the previous 2 builds where you would get more out of speccing into intelligence. Now the bow is probably one of the hardest weapons to use in New World, hence why it's not as popular. The skill gap is just insane. You can clearly differentiate a good bow player from a bad one. But don't shy away from the challenge guys, practice makes perfect. When you master the bow and alongside the high mobility of the rapier, this could make this weapon combo one of the deadliest in the game. But if you prefer an easier ranged weapon to go alongside the rapier, I'd recommend swapping the bow out for a musket, which is also a very strong option. Well guys, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more New World content. Don't hesitate to drop a comment down below to tell me which one of these rapier builds you will be using on release. Like always, it's been my pleasure and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!